And I thought I might come in just a little bit early so people have a chance to see that I'm on before I actually get into the heart of things. In the meantime, here's my co host, Cowboy, taking up his station, making sure to guard me from any dangers that may come from that direction. You never know. Actually, he is a very lucky cat. He's got fish to look at. He's got the fish are over there. Um, there's the window. There's the sand art. It's a nice, comfy bed. He's really got it made. You know, this kitty cat. I think I've been a good cat mother. He's got it made. He's got his wet food, his dry food, his automatic cat box. His little toes never have to touch any wet litter or anything, any dirty litter. He is in the lap of luxury. I think I've been a very good cat mother. You've heard of the dog father, maybe? I don't know. Um, but anyway, so I'm in early to give people a chance to see that I'm on. I don't know why. I've just been, drowsy a lot lately. More, I have these times when I go through this. Um, so I don't know what it is, but really, I lost most of the day today. Um, I'll talk about that once the show starts. Hey, James Ortiz, how you doing? Oh, by the way, like I said, there's a little cowboy. He's all ready. As you can see, he's alert and ready to go. Wait a minute, I think he's fallen asleep. I'm on early. I'm in early. I don't know why. How are you feeling, James? Have you been feeling better lately? So I was going over my stones. I just made a necklace today. This whole necklace. Well, I made most of it today. I had made pieces of it. I'm very proud of this. This is a piece of blue apatite, and it has one loop around it. It isn't crossing over anywhere or anything. I it's just I'm amazed that I managed to get that to work. But I looked into the properties of blue apatite and decided I really liked it, and then I liked the colors of the beads that I got. I got a hold of some blue apatite beads, and they're gorgeous. A gorgeous blue-green color. The dark peacocky blue-green. And then I got the blue-green wire that goes with it. And I'm really happy with the way that this necklace turned out. I'm hoping to make a bunch more of these and sell them. I'm hoping to be able to do that. If I can buckle down and get enough of them made, would be nice. But it takes time to do them because they're all I don't know if you can see, but they're links. They're all hand linked like this. So I make these individual links and then I put them together. And the value of this is that you can kind of mix them around. You can kind of mix and match and not have to worry about, if you want to put them in a different order, or maybe you just want to change out entirely the centerpiece, or you want to change out one of the other elements. It's just so much easier than stringing and unstringing in that regard, if you want to change anything. I don't know if you've ever done bead stringing, but if you ever have a pattern going and then you mess up the pattern and then you don't catch it right away and then you go back and you go, oh no, I have to take off every single bead since I made that mistake in order to get this pattern right. I hate that. I absolutely hate it. So I had a friend that did this kind of work and even way more elaborate than this. And I was always fascinated, but I caught a few tips from watching him do it and decided that looks really classy, you know. So I've finally gotten back to doing this link work jewelry, but it is very time consuming. Okay, and now it's time to start. So we're finally starting the show. Okay, so I have to tell you, I was horribly remiss today in the regard that I could not stay awake. It's funny because yesterday this happened on John's show, right? I could not stay awake. I was there at John's show. John came in very late and he acted like it was the right time. I mean, it's like, oh, it's only this. It's like, oh. We think he might have fallen asleep too. But I've noticed that people just have been drowsy a lot lately during this retrograde. And floaty is another comment I hear. It's very hard to concentrate on, what you're doing when you're falling asleep, half asleep, or whatever. And I was finding when I was trying to remote view, a lot of times at Max's class, I was just, I would close my eyes to visualize because that's the way I do it. I don't do as well when I have my eyes open and it's really bright. So I dim the lights and close my eyes and I would fall asleep. So easy. So today I got up and did some stuff. I did this. I thought I took a slight nap in the beginning of the day, about 10 or something. I got up at 6. I took a nap about 10. I got up again and I forget when, but anyway, I went a little longer, a long time, I guess a while. And then Cowboy wanted petted. He gets all upset because he's not getting enough pets. And, it's like, Mom, you need to love me. And then the next thing I know, I lie down a little bit to pet him. He's purring, and the next thing I know, it's hours later. Was I abducted or was I just lured to sleep by Cowboy? I don't know. But it was hours later, and I'm there like every idea that I had to do tonight was out of my head. I couldn't remember one thing that I was going to do. I couldn't remember a darn thing about it. And so I'm there like, well, it's Mother's Day. We'll have a discussion about Mother's Day. Hello, Alexander the Ganja Shaman. How are you doing? How are you doing? So it was a really weird day, but then I also realized this is not just Mother's Day. It's interesting that this happens. Mother's Day occurring on the same day as Mercury stations direct. It has been retrograding. So I'm going to blame it all on Mercury. But usually the first day, the last day, and the middle day are the days that you have to really watch out for with the Mercury retrograde. I didn't have that many incidents this time. It seemed like things went really well during this Mercury retrograde for me, for the most part. I didn't have anything really upsetting happen. Other people did, but not me. I was actually happy with the way things were going. We made a lot of progress with the storms and stuff that we stopped, that we mitigated anyway. I don't want to say stopped because I don't always stop them from happening. Sometimes I just lessen them, and sometimes I ask, because I ask guidance for this. It's like, is this needed? Do we really need this? Because if it's something we need, well, it's only right to let it go on, to let it play on, let the storm go, but maybe not make it destructive or something. But well, that went really well. And I think we're learning how to use these abilities. And I realized during this Mercury retrograde that that's really what I'm doing here, is helping people reestablish their godlike superpowers, reclaim and switch them back on again. And part of the way I'm doing it, I mean, Max Vision's doing one way. He's teaching the remote viewing. He's got the remote viewing class. I'm doing magic. I'm doing elemental magic, shamanism. And these are the abilities we're supposed to have. So, there's no way that we can be all that we are until we have them switched back on, until we have, and it isn't even that, it's just acknowledging them and then being able to use them, because they're not exactly switched off. It's more of, we've got mental blocks. So that's what we're doing. And by the way, happy Mother's Day once again. Remember too that Earth is a mother. To all the mothers out there, and you know who you are. I hate to tell you, but my position is only women can be mothers, okay? I mean, there can be fathers that can be mothers in a way. I mean, sometimes a single parent has to be both parents. I mean, I know somebody who had to be a single mother who had to be mother and father to her children. But really, I think we need to come to a point where the craziness subsides and we have to agree that only women, real women, can really be mothers. Okay. We got to do something about this, because this is crazy. I'm sorry. You cannot give birth to a child unless you are a biological woman. And even then, you may or may not be able to. So, and there is no way you are going to be able to do this if you are a biological man. They don't have that yet. And if they did, it would probably kill you. You'd have to have a C-section or something, even if they managed to implant it in your body. There's no guarantee it would even live, but no, so this is just madness. People saying that I think the message is getting through. How you doing, Pam? Pam, I am. I am Pam. So I think what I'm going to do is let people file in. I'm going to play my intro and then we'll get into and we're back. And and we are back. And this is my front. Hi. I'm the Ocean Swagger, and this is the Ocean's Deep Woo, and here we do the deepest of woo, usually. And we'll talk about all kinds of deep stuff. We do basic shamanism practices, and we do real magic here. It's not illusionism. It's not, I don't do any kind of high ritual or I work with the elements like most shaman do. Not into high ritual magic or any of that. I can affect change by using the elements, the archangels, the angels, the ascended masters, and other guides. Even our ET friends, we do have ET friends out there that are us, that are fractals of us. I do have more and more faith in the fact that we are in a matrix and we are in a sim, and that this is a learning school. And actually, Dolores Cannon said the same thing. I'm finding that Dolores Cannon said that a long time ago, found that out in her regression work, that what we really are a school. We're in a school. Now, see, I remembered that, and I remembered, and I've talked about this on the show. I've talked about how I remembered that, I remember it's like a university or an academy of some sort, and that we are what we are doing. There's this library. In this library, and I believe this may be what they're referring to, what Thoth's referring to in the halls of Amenti. Okay, and we are in a virtual reality holofractal matrix. So this is just tips, tricks, and hacks for the massively multiplayer virtual reality, holofractal, total immersion learning game called Life on Planet Earth. And it has nothing to do with real life, which is outside the matrix. But we come in here to learn and to experience things. This is the way people learn. And Mother Earth has decided to be our hostess for this class. And and she is a mother too, so let's give her some honor. Thank you, Mother Earth, for being such a gracious hostess to us all this time. Psychedelic Free Flow, hey, how you doing? Hello, sister. So basically, Dolores Cannon, here I find Dolores Cannon was saying the same thing when she regressed people. is that this is a school and we're in a school. So my memories, they're I'm not just blowing smoke here. That's what this is. I'm pretty sure. I mean, she's got, I got those memories. She's gotten this from um, hypnotic regression and from lots of people. So, I'm like, okay. And then we've got a bunch of people with PhDs now saying um, there's a very, very low chance that we're not in a matrix, that we're not in a simulation. It's looking more and more like, everything runs on frequency, vibration, code. So I go into a little bit of explanation of this every show for people that, most every show, for people that don't come here all the time. But honestly, you might as well just face it. You're here to learn something. You're here to experience things. And the place is a matrix. The place is a sim. And it's a very realistic sim. It's a total immersion virtual reality sim, but it's a sim. You are not your body. You have a body. She says the same thing. You have a body, but I say, you use it like an avatar, like you would in a video game. That's what you're doing here. There is a lot. Hello, Lady Spellbreaker 1313. How you doing? Jupiter just entered Aries. Oh boy. Well, you know what? My readings indicated that that was going to happen, Lady Spellbreaker, that this was going to be an intense summer. We're in a mental health pandemic for sure, yes. Um, yes, I have to say, people are crazier than ever. It's funny because the people who are kind of blissful and spiritual are getting more blissful, more spiritual, more relaxed. It's like I'm way more relaxed than I used to be. I'm way more, you know, dreamy, sort of, um, less frazzled. Whereas some people are just the opposite. I mean, you can see some people are going, "We've been warned about this. It's going to make you more of whatever you are. If you're crazy, it's going to make you more crazy." So, I got to say, I'm seeing it. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. There's no doubt about this, right? I'm great. You know what? I'm divine. I'm doing divine all the time. Um, oh, you're 3 weeks into your 30-day yoga challenge and going strong. Good for you. Doing the breath work. Oh, geez. And almost a year since you quit cigarette. You know what? It was about a year. And then I realized my brain was so clear. After I quit cigarettes, my brain was, wow, I really can think. Yeah, after quitting cigarettes. Yes, and everybody feels best in nature. Yeah, that seems to be another thing. Um, yeah, YouTube is no replacement for me. You're realizing how many people need a therapist. I know what you mean. It's like, oh my gosh, people are crazy. Hang on, I'm going to get the link in case anybody wants to come in. So hang on a minute. I'll put the link out. If anybody wants to come on in, come on in. Yep, they're all going crazy, and we have been told this is going to happen. It's what we were told. Sure enough, you're getting crazier and crazier and crazier. YouTube is not the place for mental health help, neither is Oracle cards. Yeah, not exactly. Well, it can help somewhat. I gotta say, it can help some, but it's not a replacement. It might be a support, but not a replacement. So, yeah. Oh, I went to therapy for years for stress and depression. It's only been in the last few years I've been getting a handle, really been getting a handle on controlling that and managing that. And I could go right back into it if I would let that happen, but I'm not going to let that happen. I'm managing it very well now, and I have to say, and yet every now and then something happens that throws me for a loop for like just a few seconds, and then I return to calm. So that's different. I mean, it used to be things that throw me for a loop and I'd be down all day. That would be it for the rest of the day, I'd be done. But now, most of the time, at first I'm like, no, and then I'm like, oh, well, there'll be some way around this, there'll be something that'll work out about this. It's not going to be that bad. So I'm more trusting that it's going to work out. And so not being an actual mother, as in of my body, but having had a lot of people who I consider like children of mine. Here, I'll let you in. I kind of, how you doing, Lady Spellbreaker? I kind of have motherly feelings towards some people. Try to help them out if I can, but I am not actually a mother, so I can't really. Although I've taken care of children, I can't really speak to some of it. But I do know that my Mother Earth is what I consider right now to be my real mother.
Sorry, I had to get some water.
How you doing?
I'm hanging in here. How are you?
I'm groovy. I'm just, you know what? I was talking about how I had all kinds of plans for what I was going to do today, and just did not happen, and fell asleep. Little cowboy wanted to be petted and put me right to sleep, and I woke up not remembering a dang thing I was going to do. And I'm like, what? I should have written it down, but I didn't. And I'm like, what am I doing a show on? I had it all planned. No, but this is Mercury goes direct day. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's what's going on. Because I wake up, I'm kind of groggy. I'm like, what the heck? But anyway, I thought we do pretty well when we have general discussion.
Yeah.
So we're okay.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, I know. It's all I can do some days. That's
And
all I
listen to
can
your
do.
body always. Like if you just fall asleep petting your cat, then your body
Mhm.
is telling you you need to just rest.
Mhm.
We've been
I've
like,
been doing that a lot lately. I think I've been making up for lost time because I spent so much time, most of my life, I was desperately sleep deprived. And in the time that I was taken care of, I was trying to look out for my mother, trying to just look after just too many things. It was like too many things. Couldn't get any sleep. And I really suffered. I did. So now when I get a chance to sleep, I do. If I don't have any irons in the fire, I sleep. And
you
I
got
do.
it. You got it. Listening to our body is so important, especially because there is so much energy going on there. Like I was talking on the Milky Way Soul Tribe channel last night. He had me on as a guest to talk about mental health and herbs and things like that. Happy Mother's Day to everyone in the chat too.
Happy Mother's Day,
All the
Gemini.
moms of angels like myself. Happy Mother's Day to all of you too. And like Sadhguru, do you know the yogi? Sadhguru. He's a famous
Yeah,
yogi. He's got a
yeah,
video
I've seen him.
that is called "The Storm Is Upon Us," and it's talking about the mental health pandemic is here. And I can't help but think about on the news. I don't normally watch the news, but when I walked in, my parents were watching it. And the principal of the school said that children have come back to school with more behavioral health and mental health problems since the pandemic than ever before. And, since today is Mother's Day, for the people that do have kids, I cannot even emphasize enough. My grandma is not doing well mentally. She, for the first time in her life, said she needs a psychologist, and she was asking me for recommendations on getting someone to talk to because she's 85. The elders were forced into their homes. She is having crying breakdowns, and I really think that all of this stimulation, running around chat rooms, running around social media platforms, is producing so much adrenaline, cortisol, dopamine, and anxiety that we need to be balanced doing breath work, yoga,
Mhm.
outside, outside. I cannot emphasize that enough. These are fake devices. And a lot of the news coming through them is fake. A lot of the information coming through is
A
untrue.
lot of the pressure is from there too.
Yes,
A lot of the
yes.
pressure on young people.
And we honestly, unless we,
And worse, it's full of it's beaming at EMFs at them
you
constantly.
got it, you got it. I actually have a book called The Illusion of Us. And I studied it in 2019 before this all came out. And I've seen actual people burning down 5G towers because these things have harmful red frequencies and radiation coming out.
Yes.
Turning them off and taking time to get on the right frequency. I've been leaving my phones upstairs and working out in the yard and in the garden a lot lately. And I just come in and share something if I want to, because I get massive headaches. I've got traumatic brain injury and brain trauma. So, uh, PTSD is post traumatic stress disorder. I have endured enough stress in my life. I don't need any extra. And so I
I've had
find,
it too.
yeah,
I've
it's
had
not
it too.
fun. Sorry you went through that. So many of us have. And we
Oh
really,
yeah, I it used to be that anybody, if you knocked on my door or if somebody who knew me came and just opened my door, I'd scream. And if I wasn't expecting you, I'd scream. I'd just it
yeah.
was that bad.
Yeah.
for a while. There was other things too. Couldn't sleep. Was a night owl a lot. I'm not a night owl. This is another thing I noticed, Lady Spellbreaker. Not a night owl anymore. A lot of us were night owls. A lot of us met on sort of night owl chats. A lot of us are not night owls anymore. And we're going to bed earlier and we're just not able to go to the very late chats. Matter of fact, I'm thinking of moving this show up to accommodate that to about maybe a couple hours. So, but yeah, it's almost like we're changing vastly in both directions. Like I said, we're good. The blissful ones are getting more blissful. The spiritual ones are getting more spiritual, and the crazy people are going completely off the wall.
Yes.
And
There's so much deception out there. Like, honestly, I deleted everyone that I knew off of YouTube to protect my family because my grandma's account was getting doxxed and things like that. Like, I'm really just beginning to observe. My witness card flew out of my mystical shaman deck the other day. And so, if we're the witness, some of the things I bring to the light rub people the wrong way, like social media addiction and things like this. Last full moon was a Libra full moon. Being balanced in our lives is essential for our health, or we will get sick. We will come down with physical diseases and illnesses if we are not taking care of ourselves properly.
right.
We'll,
And that is every way,
and there's
taking
no,
care of ourselves in every kind of way.
we are responsible for our life.
Yeah. And I do want to say there are some things we can do to mitigate the cell towers, I am told. Or there have been people who have done this, is there are people who make argon, just little argon bombs, and throw them around these towers in order to mitigate some of their stuff. Some of their stuff they're putting out, but there's also, we've talked about this a lot between John and I on both our shows about some of the things you can do to block it out. I mean, there are EMF fabrics, and I have some. I actually have some. I got to finish making some of my EMF clothes, anti-EMF clothes. You can, but you're not going to be completely protected unless you're completely enclosed. A Faraday cage, in order to work, has got to be closed. So you cannot block it out entirely, but you can partially block it out by wearing things that have either carbon, a certain kind of carbon, or metal, like just about anything metal, any kind of metal in it, like even, well, I have some silk impregnated fabric that I have, but you can get it with, zinc, copper, aluminum, whatever. I don't advise aluminum. It's not really good for you. But copper and zinc aggravates some people's allergies. They get dermatitis and stuff from it. But I have been making stuff. I've been making my bracelets and stuff with silver coated copper wire. And so what copper is for, what copper does. Yeah. And then the silver is also very conductive and it's good for you. It's just good for so many things. And so I actually
silver's my favorite.
Stuff out of silver coated copper wire. And so that's what this is made out of and then there's a color coating over it to make it this peacock blue. But this is blue apatite aquamarine, and I got some lovely selenite beads. And selenite will cleanse and recharge your stones overnight when you put it put them together. Here's the cool thing. I now have the selenite satin spar beads. And so I'm putting them right on with the other beads. So now you order something like this from me, you're going to end up, and I think I am going to be selling these, but you're going to end up having your selenite right there on the other beads. So they're going to be continually being cleansed and um, charged.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
cool, pretty cool deal. And something I noticed about selenite too is that when I'm in my light body and I'm doing things, I have these rods of light that I throw. That seems to be my superhero thing, is I throw these light rods. You can actually get selenite rods that are exactly the same size as my rods of light that I throw.
Mm.
And it really is like, wow, is that? And I have some. I'm like, wow, is this weird or what? Because apparently the dark things, they look horrifically bright, you know. So selenite, really reflects a lot of light. Really, a lot of light comes out of selenite. So that must be terribly painful. But anyway, get your mom, if you love your mom, get her some selenite. No kidding.
I'll have to look
Let's
up
see.
selenite. Is it
A B.
is it clear?
Um, there's different kinds. Some of it's
Okay.
clear and is in sheets, comes in like sheets. Some of it is the satin spar, which is kind of got a cat's eye look to it.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Kind of got a cat's eye look. And um, then there's some that is the desert rose kind, which I just broke one actually, but let me see if I got a whole one sitting here. Yes, there you go. The desert rose kind. And interestingly enough, my mom gave me one of these out of my great grandmother's jewelry box. They didn't know why it was there. And now I know she must have known that this was for cleansing and recharging, which only adds to the belief, although it was not passed down to me that this was a fact, that my dad's side was magical people
Mm.
because he did a lot of things. Um, yeah, he he basically healed my dog when he was paralyzed, when his back legs were paralyzed and stuff. He did a lot of things. Um, he was really we didn't get along well, really, but he was very smart and he was really into a lot of paranormal things, supernatural things, and all that. And of course, he was a Mason. He was Masonic. And he said, there are good Masons and then there are these dark Masons, and you don't want anything to do with the dark ones. They're extremely dangerous. Stay away from them. So apparently there's more than one kind of Mason.
Mm.
And some of them really are keeping, some of them are just frat boys, tell you right now. Because I've known, some of them are frat boys. Some of them are really interested in magic, really interested in magic, the supernatural, and they would fit into our circles pretty well. And then others are into dark things, and he said, stay away from them. They're very dangerous. And of course, since it's a kind of a good old boy frat thing, if you run into another Mason, you're supposed to help them. They ask you for help, you're supposed to help them, so they help each other. That's part of what makes them dangerous.
Mm.
Is the good old boy network. So So basically, so you don't want to, if you don't want to get involved in something, maybe very, very bad, you don't want to be anywhere near the dark ones, because Anyway,
Do you know about the asteroids? Because right before the bereaved Mother's Day, which was the first Sunday in May, May 7th this year, it's always the first Sunday, the Sunday before Mother's Day, is for mothers who have lost a child. And then
oh,
Ceres, Ceres, the asteroid, actually just stationed back direct May 6th. So there's post shadow with this asteroid going on, and it actually is the mother in my astrology book here. And it,
Siri.
yeah, Ceres says it says she must return to Pluto, and Pluto's actually in retrograde
Yeah, it is.
till October 10th, 10/10.
Yep, it's got, and you know what? My cards have been saying it, the pendulum's been saying it, and other people have been saying it too. We're going to have a very interesting summer.
Yeah, it is. Raw Star 13 actually said that 2023 with Pluto and Capricorn is going to be very much like 2020 was. Very much like 2020. And I'll tell you, Canada is got fires breaking out all over the West Coast.
Really, what virus is this, or is it the fungal thing
No
that they
fire,
were trying to?
fires.
Oh, fires. Oh, are they too dry up there? Do they need rain?
I
We can
guess.
fix that.
Yeah, we send them some rain. But see, Texas just got flooded. So when you do pray for rain, be wise how much you're praying for.
Well, yeah, I
But
asked it to
it,
just be enough. I say, you guys remember just enough, just what
yes.
they need. Right. Don't overdo it. We don't need flooding. So, yeah, we can send some up to, if you know exactly where, we can.
Saskatchewan and British Columbia, I say.
Saskatchewan and BC. Okay, British Columbia. Okay, my dear
Those
friends,
out
my little sweet
with the
cloud being friends.
earthquakes. There
They
come
need
fires
earthquakes too.
from the lava flows. There were just two earthquakes in California, two 5.5s.
Oh, that's right.
She
We gotta
said
get
there,
some.
Raw Star 13 said there are going to be volcanoes and earthquakes and weather anomalies this year because of what's going on in the skies.
You guys, we're on. I told you, we're gonna be having to mitigate these things. Now, I think we can do the geological disturbances too, not just the, because I have a friend, an elemental friend who is I call him Gravel because he has a gravelly voice. And he said he would be glad to be of service. And he is definitely a mineral, a land, an elemental of the land. And um, so I think he probably stepped up so that we would be ready for this, to let me know that we can do something about this too. We don't have to have devastating earthquakes. I mean, I always ask, does this have to happen? Is there some reason this has to happen? If so, you know, we're going to have to let it happen. But if it doesn't have to, if it's not natural, if it's being influenced by dark forces, we can mitigate that. I feel perfectly comfortable in mitigating that. And so we always ask.
Yes,
But
absolutely. And I've been feeling that this is going to be an intense summer. That is why I have actually been taking much time away, not taking on anybody's extra stuff that I don't have to, pointing people in the direction of a mental health advisor, and focusing on myself and my very own grief. I can't carry much else, to be honest. I'm really navigating this as best as I can. And all I can really do is help people remember how to stay grounded. And then
Mm.
everybody's got to do their own work. All I can do
Oh,
is,
where B. Freeman just got through a China app attack.
that's what I saw.
What is that about?
I've deleted all these apps off of my main phone. I don't even have a YouTube on
I
there.
don't have WhatsApp. Well, I did have WhatsApp.
All those
I
apps
don't have TikTok. I
remove
don't have most of this
them.
crap.
It's draining of my energy and my time. All of it is. I'm realizing it's draining my energy and my time. No one has my phone number but my family. I'm on my main phone, and I keep my other phone off and turn it on just to check in or share something, and shut that sucker right back off so I can get my life back and get back on track.
Yeah, my friends, my well, I don't have any family, but the people I consider my family. My friends and family have my phone, and I don't have, you know, have it out there for anybody. And I don't watch as much social media as I used to. There's only certain places I go. I never watch TV. I haven't watched TV. I haven't watched a movie in so long. I um I watch YouTube because to get information, but beyond that, I am not on social media much. I'll go to Facebook sometimes to find somebody,
Yep.
but
I go there just to share something. Because I make my own thumbnails and I share my videos out. I make me quotes and things. And so
Mhm.
I go there and I share it and I get the heck out of there because it's all mind control. If you want me to be honest with you, it's taking me away from my life, and I just took my life back on this last full moon. I took my life. It's yes, energy draining. Absolutely. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet really that, well, actually most of the people in here are telling me the same thing. Most of the people that come in here to my show, I'm one of the few shows they still watch. And it's mostly because they know each other. Everybody, because people, we're we're not on as many shows as we used to be. A lot of us. I'll go on Max's because I know Max and Max knows me, so we'll go on each other's shows and do stuff. But really, I used to go to a lot more, and for most part, they're a waste of time. A lot of these shows that I used to watch are still in the phase of asking, gee, I wonder if Bigfoot is real. Could Bigfoot be, could there really be people getting abducted? Yeah, it's like, I'm so far past that. I'm more into, what is his name, Billy Carson? I'm more at that level now. I already, I already know that this stuff exists. And I already realize that I am God, and so are you. And I already realize that we can have all kinds of spiritual gifts if we open up to that and allow that and clean up our act. We can have all that.
You.
So a lot of this is just bullshit now to me. It's just
Yes,
worthless.
it is. And a bunch of bullshit distractions. You got it. You got it.
Mm.
I honestly quit listening to tarot card readers. I learned enough from them. Like I used to listen to them daily, every single day. And as I stepped into my own intuition and development, I have gone further, and now I use like these arcana of astrology and oracle cards, mainly for learning numbers and stuff from the witches' oracles and all the herbs. We're learning the herbs and the numbers and things. And I just don't have an interest in any future telling, or like I am. seriously being in the moment. I don't need to know what's coming. I'm actually releasing all control and the need to know to the angels. I trust that the powers that be have everything under control, and I can focus on healing myself and reclaim all that time and energy back that I was spending in.
Yeah, I don't have that much really. I don't do that much with the cards as I used to
Yeah,
anymore. Just once in a while when I'm trying to clear something up or when we're trying to get some idea what's actually going on in a subject. But yeah, I don't ask too much about. Yeah, half the time when I'm doing cards, I don't even think about doing them for myself. For when I'm doing cards for somebody, it's like I have to remind myself, oh, take a card, see if there's anything you need to look at, and mostly that's what it's for.
yeah.
It's like, what are you not looking at? Oh, you need to look at that. Okay.
I
But
do
that's
moon and my full moon readings, and it's basically revolves all around astrology and some energy cards that I have chakra cards that we work with, and then the numbers and the herbs, and that's all the things that we need for grounding and doing breath work and things. And I keep getting invited on channels to go up on panels, or it happens by chance, like right now, when I have a free moment and I've already done my yoga, and then I'll do my breath work before bed. But I don't really feel like I need all of that. And I started a mediumship development circle with the other grieving mothers, and they're teaching me exactly.
Whoop, you dropped out. Can't hear you. We can't hear you, honey. Did you accidentally mute yourself? Did you mute yourself, hon? Uh-oh, something happened. The picture froze too. Someone ordered rubber hall rugs? No, I do too. I come on to talk to friends, you guys. I come on for that some chat rooms I go in to see mostly the chatters to see how they're doing, and that's about it.
Mine too. Were you circling? I was buffering over here. And
Yeah,
I
I
was
saw that.
over here.
Yeah, oh, Mercury's stationing direct right now. Okay, right this minute, huh? Okay,
Yeah,
here we go again.
we both went out at the same time.
So, oh boy. So, yeah, I end up on shows sometimes. I end up kind of I end up at odd times on shows, but I don't really go to that many anymore.
Me either.
So,
I pop in here and there, but I really value my time now and my energy and being straight up in this moment. Not
right.
past or worried about the future. In this moment.
And that's really what I had to tell somebody. We were at this beautiful picnic area having, grilling some hamburgers and marshmallows, just typical stuff. And it was a beautiful day. And she had gotten herself wasted. Okay. And she was, how do we, how do we forgive? How do we, blah, 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 all of this stuff about the past. And I said, look around you. All we really have is today. Is anything happening today that's
Yeah.
bad? No. Well, then that's all you need. You're okay, aren't you? What happened in the past doesn't matter anymore, does it? Can you feel it now? It's like it's not here now. It's gone. you're in a nice place. You're in a beautiful sky. You had beautiful weather. You kind of about to eat some good food. What is wrong? Nothing. So why allow that to ruin your present? Well, but I do have to say, a lot of us report going through our iceberg, that I call it, as those past things come up and clearing them out. That's what I do anyway. It's like when that sort of thing happens, then I work on clearing them out, clearing out those old memories, those old traumas, whatever they are. So I perfectly understand if you're doing that. If the past is coming up though, the best thing you can do is just start clearing it
Yeah.
and don't dwell. Don't dwell.
Start clearing it and focus on everything we can do. What can we do to change it? If we've got anxiety, we need to change. We need to make, like, the way our body is speaking to us at all times is trying to give us signals and signs to change something. We need to release
Mm-hmm.
something. We need to make a change. We need to reach out for help. That's a hard one that I actually have troubles with. I end up doing a lot of things on my own right here in my house because I don't want to wait for somebody to come help me, and then when we won't, like, I gotta light my own fire under my own arse and be able to balance my own life because I have a lot of fire in my chart. I have so much in Leo. My moon, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, and Mars are all in Leo. So, when I get to going, I've got to pace myself and slow down, or that's when I start messing things up. But I don't just sit around and say I can't do things. That's like a really low vibrational um, attitude, so to speak. That's it. That's a victim mentality. That's a victim mentality to say we cannot do things. Either like we can do things or we make a change or we like the suffering we have in our life. That's really the truth of the matter. It's like we're going to change something or and do something about it, or sit around and whine and complain about it. You know what I mean? Nothing's going to bring my daughter back. So, I use our story as a means for change and living in the moment. Bringing hope to other mothers that have lost their child. Oh,
Oh God, now what?
squeezing out the relay.
Oh God, no. Come on. Somebody's trying to call me.
I can't hear you.
Somebody was trying to call me.
Oh,
I'm doing this on my phone. And
gotcha.
it's somebody who should know better. But anyway. Oh, hello, Johnny Blake. How are you doing? Oh, on your readings? We're not doing those tonight, Johnny Blake. I'm sorry. That was Wednesday. We will be doing them again. Now what? Jeez, that was Jason. He knows better than that. He.
One the hour.
Oh, jeez. Come on, Jason. Anyway, yeah. Now he's going to be upset, and I'm going to say, don't you have, if you're on your phone, then you should have gotten the word from YouTube that the show is on.
Right.
Jeez. So,
People aren't thinking. People, honestly, they're not thinking. They're having attention problems. They're having focus problems because there's so much stimulation always going on. People are having serious memory problems. And
Well, he has that anyway. He's had that all his life anyway.
attention problems
So,
or memory
oh,
problems.
oh yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Attention, he's ADD, an adult ADD,
I think a lot
ADHD,
of trauma. We've all
whatever
been
it is.
traumatized by this too. It's like this whole pandemic got us.
Yeah, and he does his best. He does his best, but really his mind, you can see his mind flitting from one thing to another a lot of times. It's very hard for him to focus on anything, and he knows it. And a lot of the things he does makes it worse, but he doesn't realize it. And so but he does try really hard.
That's
He's
good.
flit, and very impatient. So it's okay. I mean, very nice guy, but very impatient guy. So
I'm impatient
mm,
too, usually.
mhm.
Sometimes I could have the patience of a saint for so long, but once my fire's lit, people better watch the hell out, is all I got to say. Once they've pushed the envelope too far and my cup of patience has run out,
Yeah, I know. It's like don't test me on certain days, and
ex-
don't test me.
I'm,
You know what? I was doing this intermittent fasting. I had to quit. I had to quit the intermittent fasting because you hit me before I eat when I need to eat, and I will be a stone cold bitch. I am not kidding. I will, I will have to hold myself back from biting your head right off because
all
I'm
right.
hungry. And it's like I can't live this way. I don't want to be a bitch. I don't want to be mean. I'm gonna have to eat something. Make sure I eat something before I run into anybody. I don't want to
Yeah.
literally bite your head off because I'm hungry. It's like, um, no, that doesn't work, unfortunately. I
Don't
tried
get
it for a while.
burned and don't mess with the bull and you won't get the horns.
That's right. That's
You
right.
got it.
And,
I'm an
you
Aries.
know,
So I've got some ram horns. My Venus is in Taurus and I
well,
got some
I
bull
got
horns.
arrows rising, so yeah, I'll
Yeah.
headbutt you.
So you
Um,
got it. And I'm a Leo moon, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Rahu. So if you want to play with fire, trust me, you will get burned. And I do know all about the element of fire.
yes, there is a ram among the sheep, and I am that ram. I will ram you. But anyway, you and that's the thing about being, and we're blissful. And isn't that funny because we're nice and we're blissful, but also can be very tough if we need to be.
You know, that's honestly our little devil side. Our ego is meant to protect us. We should ignite that. We should stand up to manipulative abuse and all of that stuff. We should speak up about it. We do not just turn the other cheek and ignore it. That is how people walk all over us and manipulate us and use and abuse us. And we
Yeah,
should.
I
I
really don't believe that we're supposed to let people use and abuse us.
never,
That's
ever.
teaching them a very bad lesson. I
Yes,
mean, we're doing them a big disservice by letting them think that that is the way that people should act. We're
don't
doing everybody else a big disservice as well.
our kindness for weakness. I'll be
Never
real
mistake
sweet.
my kindness for weakness. I've said that for ages. But oh, Johnny was asking about getting a reading, and we do that on the full and the new
Oh yeah,
moons.
that's all I've been
So
doing my oracle card readings, full and new. That's it.
yeah,
And I do
that's
it
how we do
days
it.
before so I can be away from YouTube on the full moon and the new moon. So technically, I do my new moon readings during the dark phase of the moon. And so I'm already getting the cards out there. That way, when the new moon comes around, and like on the last full moon, I did a Libra full moon, and I talk about the planets and what's going on. I actually read from this Arcana book because we're all learning more in depth about the planets. And then I back away. I want to be away from YouTube when their full moon is out and people are all juiced up on energy and the energy's gone wild. The whole planet's gone wild. And people need to ground themselves there and get off of YouTube and off all kinds of things. A lot of kids need in therapy. Honestly, I'm really beginning to see how many of the children have been so affected by this. And like, my grandma's in the assisted living home, and they don't even have a mental health counselor there for them to talk to. They were all forced into isolation. They were all tricked into getting those shots in the assisted living home. And this has affected the mental health of the elders and the children's and all the adults, but I'm saying the elders and the children are very vulnerable and naive, and they need someone to talk to, especially the children, because uh, people who honestly are just getting high and pretending like everything's all positive and let's just smoke it all away and pretend like nothing's happening. That's a big part of the problem too. That's a real big part of the problem. What a sweet.
Well, and unfortunately, we have these people who are out of reality, very out of reality, who are uh, making people think that's the way. I mean, really, and once again, I don't have anything, I really don't have anything against the alphabet community per se, except the crazy ones that are trying to get us all to fall in lockstep with them. As far as, I'm sorry, but no matter what you do, if you are male, what you have a male package, you shouldn't be in a woman's restroom, and especially not with kids. And the thing is that the normal gay people, lesbian, whatever, you know, they don't want that anyway either. They don't even want that either. Like I said, and I think I mentioned this before, most people don't really even want this. The only people that want this is the ones that are up to no good are the only people that want it. And it makes everybody else in that it makes everybody mad at that ideology or whatever it is. A few really awful people just make people sick and tired of the whole subject, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing anybody any good whatsoever, and you can tell they have bad intentions. So, it's like that is something we just can't allow. This is the problem, and I'm sorry. The democracy ruled by a few, that's literally what a democracy is, ruled by the minority. Well, we're seeing how that plays out. So then the minorities rule, and then everybody who's not a minority is suffering. And even the minorities are suffering that don't go along with the madness. So, honestly, yeah, we're in Crazyville. Like I keep saying, we're in clown. We're working our way out of clown world, I feel. We're going to be out of clown world. It's not going to last. It can. It's going to fall in on itself. This cannot possibly maintain itself.
No.
It's crazy. It has no basis in any kind of reality.
Any
And
foundation built on lies will surely crumble. That's what Jesus talked in the Bible so much about building a sturdy foundation, a solid foundation. Growing seeds in rocky soil isn't going to make good roots, all of that. We have to be built on our own truth because you and I know we are God. We are God and we are the devil. So we are both. We are the God and the devil. We are angels and devils all in one.
This isn't just people that you like and don't like. I mean, even the people you don't like. But I also am kind of tend to believe that there are some filler people, background people. That that seems to be true too, that there are people who are either so asleep or never had anybody really in there in the first place, that they're just programmed. They're just sort of like bots,
Yeah,
and you cannot do anything with them.
yeah,
You can try to wake them up all you want, but they're just not, it's not going to happen.
y-
But I also have seen that all of a sudden, sometimes they wake up just suddenly. So, did somebody just hop in there? I wonder about that.
hmm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Could it be that they're just kind of empty, but somebody could just kind of hop in there um, if they knew how to do that, which there are some species that do, from what I am hearing. But there are
yeah,
some species that do that all the time. They use avatars all the time, and they change them like we change our clothes.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking maybe that's what's happening is that maybe they weren't anything there, but maybe they were an NPC. And then somebody says, well, I need an Avi. And they hop into that Avi, and suddenly they wake up and they're a real person. And I often wonder about that. Like, I think I've said it on this show before. I wonder about that with myself. What am I a different version of me, or am I a whole different person from when I died? I know I was different. Am I the same, a different version of the same person, or am I somebody entirely different? I have similar I have similar talents, but not the same. I forgot a lot about what I had supposedly learned as the other person. Couldn't repeat a lot of it. I mean, my style of art changed and everything, so something definitely happened when I died. I'm not even sure what it is. What
And we're constantly going through transformation. Like we're constantly evolving from our old self. Then the crazy thing is, lots of people think they're awake and they think it's their job to go around and wake people up, and they're not even fucking awake.
they're
They are,
not even awake
they are so
themselves.
programmed
Yeah.
into these devices. They are not tapped into their spirit whatsoever. And they are not fooling anyone. They are straight up addicted to this high speed chase and race, feeding off of internet fakeness, not reality. I'm not
Mhm.
even kidding. It's really sad to watch, actually. Some people think they're awake and they're not. They're so fast asleep. That's the biggest illusion right there.
Well, yeah, is people who think that they're awake and they're still in a big dream. And
Ooh,
actually, that could be applied to us too, because we are in a dream or awake in a dream. So we're in a lucid dream. And guess what? When you lucid dream, you can start to affect things.
yeah,
So
yeah.
are we just people who have become lucid in this dream? Yes, there's a something to ponder. Could it be that when you wake up like this, that you find that you can do these things that you're not supposed to be able to do, or have we become lucid in this dream? And ha, yeah, I think that's exactly what happens. We become lucid when we realize that we're in a dream. That is how you do it in regular dreams too. You realize you're in a dream. So we sit here realizing we're in a dream in a matrix. Suddenly, we realize the rules aren't what we thought they were. Wow.
Right.
I don't know why, but that just hit differently this time. That hits differently now. That's exactly what's happening, I think.
That's our revelation. When you have
Yeah.
epiphany hit you differently. And you say, aha. And when something hits you and it shocks you and say, oh my gosh, and you got that revelation, trust that. Never discount that.
That means really the sky's the limit,
A
and that
quick,
isn't even the limit. So that means really we could do anything, because as you get better at lucid dreaming, that's what I hear. You can do anything in the dream then. And then there's the dream time, which shamans use to affect this reality. Now I wonder, hmm, there's still some mysteries there. There's still some mysteries of how that works, but I think it's like the causal plane where things exist before they exist here. And it seems to be our subconscious that does the work. That's the engine that does all this, is the creative engine that creates, you know, it, because, and when we start doing it consciously, it changes everything, changes the dynamics. So isn't that interesting? So then once you dump your programming, yeah, then you can create. The more you dump your, but that works. The more you dump your programming, the more you can create unfettered. Okay. I don't know. I've said things like this before, but for some reason it feels a little different this time. Um, I'm supposedly, people are telling me I'm headed for big changes in my life, and I'm supposed to be. Um, I have all of these good cards like coming up, like whenever anything happens with me, I keep getting like cards, but I get like death and then the sun, or the star or something like that. So that's changes. And I'm like, well, that's what's been going on. It's just all changes. And yet, as crazy as it is, and I keep saying, the crazier it looks out there, the darker it looks, the better it is getting really for us, usually. Like, my life's been getting better. The more I see the crazy madness out there, the more calm my life is getting. And it's that contrast that's amazing. Just before I think the worlds really separate. I'm glad I'm on this side of it. I'm
yeah, you got,
I'm glad I'm not on the crazy side of it, because for a long time I was stressed and depressed. Seriously.
do you think when you hold a space for others and there's nothing you can do to help people, do you think witnessing a lot of the suffering contributes to depression and anxiety in your own life?
Yeah, I'm sure. I
That's
know
a
it did for me.
do
It
thing
it
now because I can't. It's really affecting me spiritually. Like I try to share a lot of what we can do to heal and what we can do in our lives and breath work and yoga and focus on all the things we can do in healing, not the things we can't. Because I myself am still going through traumatic grief. And so I struggle with my own depression and things sometimes. And I'm finding that There's so much suffering going on in the world that I can't do anything about, but the people who are bringing it to me can do something if they would make some changes in their life. They can't just keep coming to me with the same problems and not do nothing about it. That's
That's
being a dead
what
horse.
I have found is that
Mm.
people do a lot of that. They just, and then they're back. They don't
Yep,
do it. They
yep,
don't do it. They don't take the advice, and then they're back and fix this. This is the biggest thing. Fix this for me.
no,
I can't fix it for you.
you can fix it. I keep saying you can. Every time somebody says I can't, I say change that into an I can. And come back and talk to me, or don't come crying to me every time. I just don't
Yeah,
have
because it's not really gonna fix it for you. If
that.
I keep doing this, you're just gonna keep getting yourself back in the same soup.
Exactly.
After a while, I'm enabling you.
It,
And
amen. You got it. And I am codependent no more. I own that book. I am not enabling toxic behaviors of people who won't do changes in their life. That's their problem from my perspective.
but you know what the wonderful thing is? A lot of the people who are the most toxic have all left my life. The really toxic ones, the ones that were really troublesome, have left my life. And now somebody else
Good.
is helping them, and I'm really kind of glad. They've gone somewhere else, or I guess I kind of starved them out because after a while I just wasn't putting up with it anymore. I'm just not, sorry, I'm not playing this game anymore. And I don't mind helping somebody, but geez, you've got to try.
You got to help
And
yourself.
yeah, I don't mind helping you as long as I see that you're doing something. So,
You
to
know,
try
I
and help you
do my
some.
own therapy. I'm doing mediumship classes now, so I don't have time for all this stuff. I'm really dedicated to doing my yoga. I actually went to a women's intro boxing class the other day to help unleash some of this high intense energy and anger I've got going on. I've actually been doing yoga for igniting the fire and releasing anger when I see all this abuse going on in the world, getting it out of me instead of choking it down, getting it
Right.
get in
That's
a
another thing.
so it's not affecting me and spewing out on anyone else. And I had a hell of a good time punching that fucking punching bag, if you want to know the truth. Oh, God, it felt so good. My
Yeah.
psychologist is reminding me that I'm still grieving. Constantly, she tells me anger is a stage of grief. Every time I have a psychology appointment, she reminds me of that. So then it reminds me that what I'm going through is normal. This is normal. This is absolutely normal, and so I'm finding healthier outlets to go punch a punching bag. I'm ordering some boxing gloves and some hand wraps and
I
aggressive.
think that's probably good. I think I could probably get into that myself some days.
Do it. It's a
I think I'm gonna have to find, yeah, I really gotta get, since we're coming out of Mercury retrograde now, it'd be time to do it again, is see if I can find some kind of situation where I can get to a gym again and
That's
and
good.
uh,
I highly encourage it.
do some things like that because we don't have that in the building, anything like that. We have a weight room only. That's all we've got. But yeah, I could very much see me taking on a punching bag and just punching the living
Oh, it felt
daylights
so
out of 'em.
damn good, I'll tell you.
You know, I'm I'm a peaceful person otherwise, but there are some things. I gotta say though, I'm not as angry as I was. I'm not as angry as I was. I've gotten through a lot of the anger now. It's just it the regret because I mean and sadness because of I mean, I was being poisoned
Mm,
to death. I was being poisoned.
I'm so
And when I
sorry.
read or hear of something where somebody's been poisoned to death or killed that way, I mean, and there have been people who have been, um, I haven't really gone into a lot of my history here. I only some of it, um, but not with my ex, and there's reasons for that. But um, yeah, I was being poisoned, and
So
you
sorry.
know, you how do you and it affected my health for a long time, even up to now. I was in a place that was very toxic, and it seems like always had to deal with all kinds of toxic things. And now that I'm finally in a place that's not so bad, I'm getting better. But it's like, why did I have to go through all those years?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, why did I have to go through all those years of being toxified, by different things and then having to find my way out of it?
It
That
will
was
lead you
really
to
hard.
healing. But of course it would spark an anger in you when you see it happening to another. Of
Mm.
course it's going to do that to you. My daughter and I were both misdiagnosed and highly drugged and over medicated by the pharmaceutical companies for years. And now I'm actually getting a lawyer for medical malpractice for myself and my daughter. Wrongful death, all kinds of things that contributed. And I've already talked to one lawyer about it. But when I see traumatized kids being put on drugs, it really sparks a fire in me and pisses me off all over again. Because these doctors need their licenses slapped off the walls, and they need waking up so they'll stop doing all this. It's
Well, there's a reason why mine doesn't see very much of me.
Yeah,
She's not a bad doctor, but she's still an allopathic doctor, and
yeah.
you've got to watch them.
Yes, you do. They're just real quick to write you a prescription and numb you out.
And yeah, give you something for the symptom and not the disease. That's the problem. Not really solving the problem that caused the disease. But actually, recently, like I said, it's funny. It hasn't been, I think I've gone through most of the anger. Now it's just sad because, it's sad because, um, all that time when I could have been maybe having a family of my own, and I don't have one, you know. I never got a chance to really have a family of my own.
Yeah.
So, but that was just, I guess, not the way it was supposed to go this life. This life was, I was busy doing some other things. So,
You were working for
and
spirit in many other ways, bless your heart.
yeah, I was working for Spirit. I didn't have the opportunity to really create the family. It wouldn't have worked anyway. All the stuff that I went through, I was actually distanced myself from people for a long, long time because I didn't want anything bad to happen to them. I noticed that some of the people that I was close to that were trying to help me, things were happening to them.
Mm,
And I didn't want to be the cause of that. So I actually distanced myself from some of the people that were trying to help me because I didn't want to be the reason that anything happened to them. So I could only really hang with the strongest people. And some of the people that thought they were pretty strong turned out not to be, you know. So the only ones I could hang with, though, were very strong people. And I found that out. So I found out who really was the strong ones, not who you'd always think either. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing what we can go through though and come out of it. And I mean,
absolutely.
there are people who've gone through way more toxic things though than, I've gone through a lot, but I mean, there are people who, you know, were used by a satanic cult when they were kids or something,
Oh,
that kind of thing. Um, and had to get out. They were being trafficked, until I mean that's Teal Swan's story. She was being trafficked most of her life.
my
Um,
daughter was sexually abused by her father, who was in the church with his parents. So it's yeah, very very religious abuse going on.
yeah,
He also
that
abused me, and it's a sick mind warp. Those things really still trigger me. It's very sad.
yeah. Well, it's not like people didn't try to. I mean, I really think that my poisoning might have been an attempt at a sacrifice.
Mm, so sorry to hear that.
Uh, but it didn't work out because I just kept living through it. I kept finding my way out of it. But yeah, there were things that happened to me and the doctors couldn't figure this out. And, I would try and solve it, and people would think that they knew better and would screw up my attempts to help myself. Um,
Mm,
like one of the things is I realized that the reason I probably had GERD was drinking tap water. Okay. I found that when I drank filtered water, I wouldn't have the bad acid reflux type stuff. But people would act like, and it would also give me a sore throat and uh, a horrible cough,
oh,
um, incontinent bladder, a whole bunch of things it would do to me. Tap water. And because they wouldn't believe me, they would swap out my water for tap water just to prove that it was phony. And then I'd get very sick and they would act like, oh, it's like, then it still wouldn't dawn on them that it wasn't all in my mind. That
oh my,
no, I was being affected by the chemicals. It was very sick. There are people who would try to, you know, uh, I mean, at one time they thought that all allergies were in your head. And we know better now.
right.
And it's like at another level, yeah, I can delete the allergies. I mean, I can eventually delete the allergies, but when you think about it, a lot of these were not really allergies exactly. They were the results of being toxified. My body was reacting pretty normally to being exposed to something toxic.
Yeah, yeah. I
Not
think
really an allergy.
a lot of that going on with heavy metals poisoning, and it's affecting people on so many levels. And that's sad. Our bodies do react, and I'm so very sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's, one of the things. My old apartment had black mold.
Mm,
Nobody was helping me get out of there until Paul helped me get out of there. And it was only because I said, hey, I know I'm going to die here if I don't get out of here. And then after I did, I tried to go back to my apartment to start packing up. I couldn't even pack up. I needed help because it made me so sick to walk back into that apartment.
yeah, yeah.
And
Ah,
I mean, I would just about fall on my butt trying to go back into there. And so, but fortunately, I was sent helpers. But honestly, there was just so much toxic about that place. There was so much. So most of my life, I've been dealing with toxicity. Why? I don't know. Maybe so I could help other people get out of their toxicity and realize what's hurting them? I don't know. But I know doggone well they didn't manage to kill me.
That's terrible. They tried, but they can't kill us. They can't.
Yeah, I'm very hard to kill. I think they would. I think they would have got me that last time. I think they would have got me because there was just too much. They might have been able to get me, but I chose no. I chose you're not gonna get me. I got things to do. I have things to do, motherfucker. Uh, So, you know, I can't be bothered with dying right now and trying to get myself into another abbey. I got stuff to do. But yeah, it's amazing what we can go through and still be alive. And I'm sure I disappointed some people. And I found out that one of the reasons that things are going better is because one of the people that was trying to affect me all this time died. They died.
Oh boy.
I outlived them. I outlived several people that were trying to do stuff to me. So, you know, uh,
Their
well,
own dark magic will come right back to them.
yeah, if you endure long enough, it's like if you can endure it, because I kept getting the message that you've got to outlast them. And I think maybe there was a contract involved, maybe there were contracts involved. Well, if you don't fulfill a contract after a while, what happens is if you default on a contract with some of these things, you're in trouble. You forfeit yourself. So,
Yeah.
you know.
The man
So,
who hurt my daughter, he passed away on January 9th this year. One of the men. So, he was a man that I used to run into around town here, and trust and believe God heard my cries. So, it's even crazy because I'm a life path 1, which is the beginning, new beginnings, right? And my daughter is a life path 9, and her death certificate says 9/9/2020, 1919 p.m. And then one of the men that hurt her died on 1/9, January 9th. 1919, beginning, end, beginning, end. The end.
wow.
I just got a hoodie from the store for my birthday, and it says, "This is the end of the world as we know it." And it says right on the cuff, "This is the end." And it's Pluto retrograde.
Yeah, you were showing us that. You showed us that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got my Pluto shirt because I'm actually a Scorpio midheaven, so I'm ruled by Pluto.
Oh, so you're having real fun during this Pluto retrograde.
And I was born with Pluto in retrograde, Saturn in retrograde, Jupiter.
Oh, so you're going to be fine. Everybody else is going to be tripping.
I'll go crazy.
You're going to be fine. Yeah. Okay. Well, girl, this is your time.
All these retrograde planets out for the year, and Chiron is actually in its pre-shadow right now because Chiron and Venus are going to go retrograde on July 22nd, which is the feast of Mary Magdalene. Both Chiron and Venus, same day.
Really?
Yeah, it's the feast of Mary Magdalene. The Catholic Church finally gave her a date, and Venus is going retrograde. I'm super stoked.
Wow. That's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my
Absolutely.
grandfather's birthday that I lost to suicide. He's been one of my biggest angels and spirit guides since 1996 when he left this planet. He left on the final day of Ophiuchus, too, December 17th, 1996. My grandfather committed suicide and took my step grandma with him. And he's been my angel all along because all these people told me he went to hell and all this stuff for killing himself and for taking my step grandma with him. And I found out the lie detector test determined that was a lie. He's not in hell at all.
Yeah, there were some entities trying to tell me that about my dad too.
Oh, I'm so sorry you went through this. This has been
Yeah,
so.
I'm sorry that, you know what though? I'm sorry you had to go through all of the stuff you went through. But you know what we got to realize, sweetheart? It made us the people that we are.
Yeah. And it led us to each other. Indeed.
It made us who we are now.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, and I haven't said much about this, but there was a time when I was of the opinion that I might be, and I know this is kind of off to the side. There was a time when I was going through a phase of mind where I thought that I might be a guy trapped in a woman's body.
Mm.
So I've gone through that soul searching. But it was because of what society expected from me
Yeah.
as a woman. And I wasn't really interested in a lot of this so-called woman stuff. So I really began to wonder if I wasn't. But then once I realized that we do choose before we come in what we're going to be. It's not determined at birth. It's determined long before that,
Yeah.
what we're going to be. And we have chosen that. And then I thought to myself, but you know what? And then I chose this for a reason. So there's got to be a reason why I'm female this time, even if most of the times, a lot of the times I remember being male. There's got to be a reason I'm female. And it's quite obvious that our souls are both or neither our souls. However, there are times I think when one or the other side is more triggered, is more in play, the male or the female side, and then maybe that's what makes you feel that way. But I was very close to being what you would call a trans.
But
So
we're dual energy. We're masculine. We have masculine and feminine energy. Like I
right.
have so much fire in my chart right now. Half of my head is shaved. I could easily go towards the more masculine side because I have so much fire.
Oh, see, that's funny too, because I used to shave my head, the
Oh
sides of my hair. I used to have a mohawk, yeah,
yeah, and so
a samurai.
most of the real feminine, petite, girly girls that have all nothing but water and earth energy, I say they're softer. They're they probably won't stand up as much. I go beat the shit out of a boxing bag. You see what I'm saying? I've got balance. I
Mhm.
go get my grounding with my earth. I'm a Scorpio midheaven, but I'm a highly intuitive water sign that's ruled by Mars. That's ruled by
Yeah,
Pluto, the death planet.
the death planet.
So totally different energy than Pluto.
Planet of death. I am the planet of death. You know what, though? He's also called the Cosmic Cop
Oh yeah, the bringer of the endings, putting the
right?
smack down.
Because he comes through and unearths, he's like a detective,
Yeah, he is.
unearths all the dirt.
Work gonna be coming up. For people who didn't do their shadow work, hello, welcome to the dark side.
Absolutely do your shadow work, people,
This is
by all means.
Pluto shirt, and it says it's a Pluto. I'm not a planet either.
Poor Pluto getting demoted to a planetoid.
I know.
That,
And
that
guess what? Pluto's the ninth planet. My daughter passed on 9/9.
was so sad.
That
Poor
is
Pluto.
super sad.
You gotta feel the come down from me and I am the Lord of Death to you're the tiny planetoid, you know. what? That's sad. But anyway, um, you
And
know,
uh,
my own trajectory seems to have something like, oh my goodness, I just saw something else about my life. Um, my own my own path has something to do with Psyche and Cupid.
mm,
And Psyche was poisoned by Venus.
ooh,
Not intentionally. She was supposed to give the poisoned stuff to somebody else. I'm trying to remember who she was sent it with. But then she thought she wanted to be more beautiful and opened it herself and was poisoned um, by this thing that Venus was actually sending to somebody else. But then Cupid comes along, or I mean, Eros comes along and saves her and keeps her from death. And I actually have that picture somewhere that I had on my wall for a long time.
wow,
That's rather interesting.
that is, and it even goes along
Does
with your life.
it does involve a poisoning?
That's
So yeah, oddly enough, um,
pretty amazing, yeah, oddly amazing.
yeah. Well, there's all these synchronicities when you look at your life that uh, sometimes it's amazing. You sit there and you just like the synchronicities of my life and who I've known and who I've um, and there's sometimes very small degrees of separation between things, and I have noticed that. Okay, now here's something I did want to mention. I found out that at my old apartment building. Now, right, I got the message. I kept getting the message. If you stay here, you're gonna die. Okay, so I got out just before COVID hits, right? Just before COVID, just got my stuff all moved in, and then COVID hits.
Mm,
And I'm like, wow. And then here's the weird thing. I found out that since then, 5 people from there have died.
oh, wow,
Just died.
wow,
And yeah, 5 of them. And right over on my side
wow.
there.
That's why it's so important to listen to your intuition.
There's only about 10 apartments, so that means half of the people there died. Let me see. Wait, let me double check on that.
And don't procrastinate.
Yeah, because there's 3 over here, 3, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, there was only 11 apartments
Wow.
and 5 people died. It's like, holy crap. Well, I know there's black mold and different stuff in there, but geez, the odds,
Yeah, no kidding.
geez. So whatever was going on in that building was really bad, I guess, during COVID. It was deadly to be there. And yeah, I'm so this is just for me, this is a confirmation. I just found this out. For me, this is just a confirmation that what I was getting was correct. That
Right.
it would have happened. Yeah. So I did want to bring that up is that was a kind of a hit. So, whatever was going on, I almost feel like I should be suing them for whatever was going on in that apartment.
Yeah, no kidding.
because it took I was there for a lot of years actually, getting sicker and couldn't prove why. I think it was that apartment.
Yeah.
Was just making me sicker and sicker because black mold will do that, you know. And so now that I'm detoxifying, and it's funny because my helper, she said very, very softly, she wasn't even looking at me. She said, like that, very soft, I guess. And I said, what? What? And she goes, you heard that? And I'm like, yeah. She says, how did you hear that even? She says, gosh, you got good ears. And I do. I have mosquito ringtone ears. I mean, I can hear mosquito ringtones. You're supposed to stop that around 20 years old or so, you
Yeah.
know. So, yeah, I said, yeah. And she says, you've even gotten better since I've known you. And she said she found out that detoxing will actually help you hear better. That the more toxic you are, the more deaf you get. Deafness actually has to do with toxicity.
And the tinnitus that gets in our ears, that's the part. That's the blocking. That means we need to be listening, and we need detox. Absolutely, detoxing is so freaking important.
I think so. The only problem with detoxing is once you get off of some stuff, you probably know this already, and you get a hold of something again, whether you know it or not, and you're like, whoa, what the hell? You know, you just, it's like being in another realm. It's sort of like when you finally quit smoking, and then you're around smoke again, you can't stand it.
Yeah, that's how I am
It's
right now.
horrible.
The smell of cigarettes almost makes me puke. The smell of alcohol almost makes me puke. The smell of marijuana now is so strong because I don't smoke it anymore. My senses are lit up. I'm only using my CBD and CBG oil. My dreams are coming back. My senses are lit, all of them, because I don't smoke. And I'm not desensitized by these devices either.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing too that people have got to realize. I think that the whole reason for poisoning us is to keep us from having all our senses coming online,
You got
having being able to do and know things. I think we're being toxified so that we cannot function correctly.
absolutely. And keeping us sick and stuck is what it's doing. It's mind control on every single level.
Hmm. That's what I think too.
I'm
I
like,
think that's exactly what it's for.
I totally agree. And it's very sad because
And
I'm watching it happen to people who are in complete, utter denial about it too. They argue with me, and I just am to the point where I'm going to stop. I block people. I'm not, this isn't up for debate. Like, everybody's entitled to believe what they want, but don't come on my show and argue with me. That's like I'm trying to when I'm trying to teach something like that. I see people that are sick and they are stuck and they wouldn't argue with me over stuff I've already studied, experienced, and I'm not the sick one. I don't get sick because I did my work and I made my changes.
right, if you make your changes, you're not going to be the same
And I'm
as.
not stuck. So don't come crying to me that you're sick if you're not going to make changes in your life.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am now too. I am to the point where I don't, you know, I'm not gonna. I'll tell you what I think. If you try to fight me or argue with me, you can go your way.
Exactly.
You can go your way. You can do everything your way and stay right where you are, and or maybe get worse, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
They'll learn.
Fine.
They will learn.
And sometimes and it would be very sad if you die. However, you know, you'll have to come back and try again, I guess, or
Exactly.
something.
If they don't get it on the first time, my daughter is going to have to come back. She didn't get it figured out. She'll
Yeah.
come back
And
and learn.
that's what I try and tell people, because I know people who have offed themselves early, and I try to tell them, you're going to have to come back and redo this if you do that.
It's
Do
like
you
a game.
really want to come back and redo this? You're
No,
going to have to be writing the same kind or even worse,
I know if
same kind of prediction.
I'm going to get it this time. My ex thinks he's got it all figured out, and he ain't got shit figured out. He thinks he's beat the system. He's working with the law of attraction. He is conning everyone. He's the biggest con man I've ever seen. The biggest age of deception he has not done his shadow work. He is a controlling abuser, and he's got some young girl that he knocked up and forced to have a baby. He's living a full blown lie, making it look real good, posting videos how happy their life is. It's the most toxic, abusive, deceptive relationship I've ever seen. And he thinks other people are going to have to come back and do it again, but he won't. He's got everybody fooled. He's got him. No, the real tricker is they're fooling themselves more than anybody else. He's not fooling me, and other people are not fooling me. They're fooling themselves.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty widespread.
It is, it
Know
is.
what I mean? That's widespread. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are fooling themselves. I've heard people say, this is my last life, that I know damn well it's not their last life.
Right.
So I go, no, dear, no, it's not. No, it's not, dear.
Yeah. Well, listen, honey, I'm going to have to get to bed. It was a real good
You
time.
know what? I'm tired too, and I'm probably not going to be on that much longer
It's
anyway.
11:05, yeah.
It
My,
has been wonderful speaking with you, love,
it
and I
has been.
hope to catch one of your lives one of these times.
I'll be live tomorrow, actually, for the Taurus Newman reading.
What time?
At 4:30 my time, so it'll be 5:30 your time, your Eastern.
Oh, tomorrow about 5:30. Okay.
Yeah.
I will try and see if I can get there. That should work though. I mean, 5 something, 5:30. Okay. I'll try and make a note to myself and get there
Okay.
and
We
see
would love to
see
have.
what y'all are up to.
I talk about the planets and stuff in the first one, and I do the moon energy information. I pull the moonology cards that are for Taurus. I've got
Oh,
both.
is Moonology good? Is Moonology a nice deck?
Yeah,
You like them, huh?
actually pull out
I'm thinking of getting them.
for the Taurus new moon. Yeah, they're good. And then I've got a Queen of the Moon deck. And I usually do just some little angel cards, call in some angels and stuff in the beginning, go over the moon information, and then I'm going to go over. I want to read Ceres, the asteroid, and we're going to go over what the fourth house is. I'm just going through the houses one at a time. I do them in
Well,
order.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, so we're all kind of learning. A lot of the people on my channel are very new to reading charts, so they don't know a lot about it. And as I'm learning more, I'm just explaining it better with cards, pictures, pretty pictures.
Yeah, I hope to soon be able to be on a computer or a laptop or something where I can show stuff again
Yeah, yeah,
because I'm really kind of suffering without that right now.
yeah,
And I need to get that back going again. But there's been all kinds of things coming up. Maybe that'll finally clear though. I'm intending that that's finally going to clear up. So help me intend that all of this stuff clears up and I'm able to get a hold of something like that that's going to or at least get my um my computer to the point where it can handle doing broadcasts like this,
Yeah.
because this doing it on my phone is just very difficult.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's limited.
I know I can't switch pages or anything, or the whole broadcast cuts out. I would love to be able to click links and stuff. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I would do it.
you'll have to go
So
back after the video is over.
okay, so well, I hope to see you tomorrow then. I also am doing a show tomorrow. Mine is at 10, but I might be moving mine up to 8 because frankly, a lot of us aren't night owls anymore.
Yep. No, I'm very balanced and I'm listening to my body like I've already been yawning. So
I am really thinking of moving everything up to 8 because I'm really getting to the point where I'm not a night owl. And I want to be able to be outside.
yeah.
I would love to be able to do the show from outside.
Yeah.
Anyway, love y'all,
Love you.
and and hope you have a wonderful uh hope you have a wonderful night,
You
and
too. It was wonderful talking to you.
yeah, you too, and I'll try and see you tomorrow, and hopefully either you'll be over at my place or I'll be over at your place or both. And
Yeah.
um okay, love to everybody out there, and moms, we love you. Bless you. I know you go through a lot. You've been through a lot, and you go through a lot to keep life on this planet, and only you can do it like you. So, kudos to you for being moms. We need you. And um, remember, you are divine, you are loved. It's going to be all right. We're going to be taken care of. We're not going to be neglected. We're not going to be thrown to the side. I've been told we're going to be fine. Just keep on being your wonderful selves and working on that iceberg and those onion layers, and you're going to find out you're going to be able to do the most amazing things. I have a lot of faith in you. I've already seen what you can do, part of it, and think of how much more. I'm very excited to see. Love you all. Good night.
Good night.
And remember, truth is where you find it. Hope you're always finding some here.